It is now my privilege to introduce our distinguished speaker. Ms. Christy L. Pickering is the owner of Christy Pickering CPA here in Biloxi. She recently concluded 10 years of service as a member of the Mississippi Board of Trustees of State Institutions of Higher Learning. As a certified public accountant, Ms. Pickering has more than 30 years of financial and accounting experience. Her work as an expert witness led her to be named a special master in a case in 2014. Ms. Pickering is a member of the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. She has served as a member of the board for Mississippi Power Company, Hancock Bank, Hancock Holding Company, among others. Ms. Pickering earned a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration from the University of Southern Mississippi. She was a member of the 1991 inaugural class of Leadership Gulf Coast and has received numerous awards for her service to the community, including being named Rotarian of the Year by the Biloxi Rotary Club and Outstanding Community Leader of South Mississippi by the Sun Herald and the Mississippi Business Journal. Ms. Pickering has made countless contributions to the University of Southern Mississippi and to higher education across the state of Mississippi. On a personal note, Ms. Pickering was on the board, obviously, when I was named president of the University of Southern Mississippi in February of 2013. Having considered myself experienced in interviewing and gaining employment, I ran up against the most difficult interview question ever written and asked of a candidate by Ms. Pickering. I'll also tell you that she has a fabulous story that I hope she will not tell today about an incident involving a dinner party in which braised short ribs were to be served. We'll just let that stay quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to ask you in joining me in welcoming to the podium Ms. Christy L. Pickering.
Good morning. Before we get started, President Bennett said that I could take one little sidebar here. I am so proud of all of you today, but there is one person here in the audience who is very near and dear to our family, and she's graduating, and I'm going to ask her to stand up. Dana Bahanovich. Congratulations, sweetie. Right? Say hi to your mom and your fiance. Congratulations. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for being here today on this beautiful spring morning. We are here to celebrate your achievements and your accomplishments, and this day is about you. I welcome President Bennett, our Provost, Dr. Mosier, the Platform for Party faculty that are here who do such a great job with these students, parents, family members, friends, and of course, all of you, the fabulous graduating 2018 class of University of Southern Mississippi Gulf Coast. It's a great day. Here's what I know. This is a big day, and the commencement speech is not the most important thing about today. So we will get you up here quickly so you can get your diploma, and I will be brief. But I do have 4 things that I would like to talk to you about. These are 4 words that start with the letter P, which in my opinion is perfect for today. The first thing I'd like to talk about is persistence. I graduated from the University of Southern Mississippi in 1983. Back then, it was an extremely tough job market. Naively, I believed that I would get a job quickly because I was graduating with an accounting degree with honors. I just knew job offers would come pouring in. I could not have been more wrong. After graduation, I had sent out 50 letters to corporations where I thought I should pursue my accounting career. After a few weeks, I began to get the Dear John letters. You know the ones. Thank you for your letter and your resume. And then that horrible word, unfortunately, we don't have any positions available suitable for your qualifications. So while I waited for someone to realize that I was the employee they didn't want to get away, I had gone back to working at the bank where I had worked as a teller for 4 years while I was in college. I encourage all of you to not sit and do nothing while you're waiting on your dream job. Making the choice to remain productive will help you to model the sort of productivity that you want your future boss to see in you. After several months of disappointing letters, I finally got a call from the Human Resources Director at Hunt Petroleum in Dallas, Texas. He said that he was impressed by my resume and he would love to meet me sometime if I were ever in Dallas, but he didn't have an open position. I thought about that call all day. The next day, I called him back and I said, I'm going to be in Dallas next Wednesday. Can we schedule an appointment? And he said, yes. We scheduled that appointment, and then I booked my flight. We had a very good meeting, and at the end of the meeting, he asked me who else I would be interviewing with while I was in Dallas. I told him no one, and he got flustered, and he said, well, wait a minute. I told you I don't have an opening. And I said, I know, but now you know me, and maybe, just maybe, when you do have one, you'll think of me. So let me say this again. I booked a flight to Dallas with my own money to go interview with a company that had no open positions. But guess what? 2 weeks later, I had a job. They created a job for me because he was so impressed with my initiative and my persistence. So, persistence, the Wikipedia definition of which is this: the firm or obstinate continuance in an action in spite of difficulty or opposition. So in other words, don't give up. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone and do the unexpected. Get out and look for those jobs by showing up in the receptionist's office, booking an appointment and handing them your resume. This initiative will carry you far. Online applications, in my opinion, will never ever replace face-to-face meetings. The next thing I want to talk to you about is passion. There are different definitions for the word passion, but the passion I'm talking about is the Merriam-Webster definition of this word, which is a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement about something or about doing something. Some of you may know by now what you do well and what you love doing, and you may know what your life's work will be. Others of you may still be unsure and looking around, and you may change your mind from time to time. But wherever you go, whatever path you follow, you have been well prepared for the rigorous education you received at Southern Miss from those faculty members. As each of you look toward your future, always focus on finding that which you do well and that which you love doing. To be sure, not everyone is lucky enough to do what they love in their job. However, I encourage you to try very, very hard to find your passion. Whatever it is, wherever it is, find it. If you can't find it in your job, find it in your community, find it in your church, find it with your family, find it in your hobby. Whatever your passion is, find that passion. And your careers may change throughout your life. That's okay. I've had several careers. In my early years, I was an auditor, and then an instructor, and then I became a tax accountant. I am now a tax accountant, a forensic expert, a litigation support expert, and now, as of 4 years ago, a public speaker. I have finally found what I am most passionate about: speaking to young men and women about the subject of domestic violence and abuse. I speak to young women with a message that is called "Girl, You Deserve Better," and I speak to young men with a message that is called "Man Up." And pretty soon, in a couple of months, I will add published author to that list. Now, I say all of that only to say this, that it's okay to change your focus or your vocation as you progress in your career. It's okay. And I also want to encourage you to find your purpose. Your purpose is the big why you do something. It is the reason you get out of bed every morning. It is the thing that keeps you going when everything else tells you to quit. It is the answer to this one question. When I get to the end of my life and I look back over all that has happened and all that I have done, what am I going to see in order to conclude that my life was good and that it mattered that I was here? Whatever the answer to that question, that is your purpose. I can tell you from my own personal experience that knowing your purpose and making the leap of faith to live it is the most fulfilling thing that I have ever done. At 57 years of age, I finally know what that is, and I encourage you to find yours. And the final thing that I want to talk about today is pay it forward. By giving to others without expecting anything in return, you will be amazed at how blessed you will be. A dear friend of mine wrote a book called The Nexus Initiative. It is a book about networking, but a new way of networking. The typical networking event looks like this: a bunch of business people in a room handing out cards and asking for business. This book suggests that there is a better way to network and to attract clients and customers, by giving first, not asking for anything in return. It is called the law of human reciprocity. As an example, if you throw a boomerang, you will notice that that boomerang comes back to you. What the law of human reciprocity does, the more you give, the more you get. Without having the benefit of that book until just recently, somehow I already knew that principle. This is how I built my accounting practice back in the early 90s. I never advertised, not once. I had worked at a few accounting firms, gaining the necessary skills that I needed, and then at the age of 30, I decided to open my practice. For several years before I made that scary decision to give up a paycheck, I had spent a lot of time volunteering in the community with the Rotary Club, the Chamber, and other nonprofit entities. When I met people, I asked them about their business. And I would ask them to see what they needed. Could I point them in the right direction? Help them with some resource that they needed? This paid off quite nicely, although I wasn't consciously looking for a payback. As I said, it was scary to give up a paycheck, but I did and started my practice, but it didn't take long before those people that I had helped in the past came calling. And some of them have been clients of mine for 28 years. So in closing, I encourage each of you to have persistence, to find your purpose, perform with passion, and pay it forward. Congratulations to you all. We are so, so very proud of all of you. And thank you, Dr. Bennett, for allowing me to be a part of this day.
Thank you, Ms. Pickering, for that wonderful message. I'd like to invite Dr. Stephen Miller, President of the Vice President of the Gulf Park campus, to join me at the podium.
All right, I'm going to stick this over here.
There's a little bit of water there. And we're going to present this to you. Ms. Pickering, please accept this token of our appreciation for your inspiring message this morning. This framed photograph of the Friendship Oak is symbolic of the university's resiliency and deep roots in the coastal community. It is a true honor for us to have you share a wonderful message, and I thank you for your contributions to our university, to our students, and to the state of Mississippi. Thank you so much.